Welcome back, everybody. Aesop Grim here. This is the continuation of the first Chronicle of 3 in the Mass Effect Legendary series. We're playing Mass Effect 1. Last episode, we covered the Citadel, these two areas, and now we're going to venture forth. I need to Alt-Tab, and the way that this works, I always see a black screen. I need to confirm that I'm actually capturing video and recording, and I am. Okay. We'll do another chunk. Let's talk to Avina.
Greetings and welcome to the Presidium. My name is Avina, and I am pleased to be your virtual guide throughout this level of the Citadel space station.
I don't think I would ask something, are you real? I would just say virtual guide.
What does that mean?
I am a fully interactive virtual intelligence, programmed to provide spontaneous guidance at predetermined locations of interest throughout this level of the Citadel. I may also be contacted through any of the Presidium VI terminals, should you require assistance.
Give me the tour.
You are standing at Presidium Tourism Terminal 1. On either side of this lobby are the embassies of the various Citadel races, along with CSEC headquarters. On the far end of this level, you can see the Citadel Tower, where the Council meets regularly to discuss matters of interstellar importance.
Okay, so we know we would want to go to our right to get the Council meeting started. That we really that's our primary mission here, I believe. Oh, we can investigate.
I want to know more about Citadel security.
Citadel security serves as law enforcement for all regions of the Citadel, though the majority of officers serve in the wards. Executor Palin, a Turian, is the current head of CSEC, but individuals from virtually every species across Citadel space serve as officers beneath him. If you wish to learn more, Executor Palin's office is located in the CSEC headquarters just across the lobby.
Right, we've already spoken to him.
Tell me about the embassies.
Each species in Citadel space important enough to be consulted on matters of galactic politics maintains an embassy on the Presidium. The Volus were the first non-council species to be granted an embassy, roughly 2,384 galactic standard years ago. As Citadel space has expanded, more embassies have been added. The most recently added embassy belongs to your own species, humanity. It was added 19 galactic standard years ago, despite some rather vocal opposition.
Why was humanity opposed?
Why were people trying to keep my species out?
Some species felt humanity was given preferential treatment. It often takes a century or more before a new species is granted an embassy. The Council gave a great deal of thought to this matter. In the end, they decided humanity's impact on Citadel space was significant enough to warrant an embassy.
Well, that sounds to me like they were concerned things could swiftly escalate into rivalries, and they would rather bring us in diplomatically instead. They may have looked at how humanity works and said, uh-oh. You know, something to that effect. Let's find out about the Volus.
How come the Volus were the first species given an embassy?
In the early years following the formation of the Council, the Volus were, apart from the Asari and Solarians, the most populous and widespread species in Citadel space. They established many new colonies and trading outposts, and they petitioned the Council for a greater role in determining interstellar policy. In recognition of their work to expand interstellar trade and establish a standardized galactic economy, the Volus were granted an embassy here on the Citadel.
Why weren't they made a council race?
The Council races have extensive responsibilities. They must provide personnel and ships for the Citadel fleets. They often provide economic aid in times of disaster. It would be unfair to demand such an enormous burden of a species unable to meet these obligations. The embassies allow lesser species to have a voice on the Citadel.
Uh-oh. Okay. Well, this is getting to that meritocracy thing. Now, okay, well, we're dealing with a couple things here. I mean, lesser species, that's a pretty blanket statement. In the military, we called that rubber stamping. It takes away people's personal agency. Yet, You also cannot get away from the fact that you actually can describe groups, large groups of people, with certain descriptive terms, whether they're positive terms or negative terms. It's almost like personality types have pluses and minuses. It's similar to that. So let's see what she says here about lesser species.
That's pretty damn arrogant.
I apologize if my personality has offended you. Please submit all formal complaints in writing to the Citadel Tourist and Visitor Board.
Well, I wanted to hear more explanation as to why they would be considered a lesser race. It is really easy to, I would say that the term that comes to mind is to virtue signal about, hey, that's unfair and disgusting, and raise Cain whenever you really have surface level knowledge of what's going on. But what if she's right? What if the Volus are a species that cannot provide in those other areas? They're not geared for it. It's not their strong suit. Just like with any team, you want to put your people in the right position to succeed. And whenever you ask them to fulfill roles that they're not gifted for, especially when their gifts are, I mean, everybody's got gifts, right? So when their gifts are in other areas, not only is that wrong to them, but you typically will get found out, exposed, and blown up by your superiors for mismanagement and mismanagement of talent, So I don't know. I would have liked some more. I hope we learn more about the Volus and why it is that they're not on the council, and what the, I guess, legitimacy to that is, or not legitimate. Maybe the dude's got a valid complaint, I don't know. I think, Specters.
Do you know anything about Specters?
The term Specter is derived from the branch of Special Tactics and Reconnaissance. Each Specter agent is handpicked by the Council. Their primary role is preserving galactic stability and resolving volatile situations that cannot be handled through normal political channels. In this role, they are granted extraterritorial rights and jurisdictions. Specters answer to no law or authority except the Council itself.
Okay.
What can you tell me about the Citadel Council?
Originally, the Council consisted of representatives from the Asari and Solarians, the two dominant species in Citadel space. Roughly 1,304 galactic standard years ago, Turians were invited to join the Council in recognition of the role they played during the Krogan Rebellion. Since then, the three Council races have worked together to ensure the peaceful coexistence of the galactic community, while preserving individual autonomy for each species.
I mean, I don't know if I would say this, but I'm curious. I would say something to try and get some more info.
It can't be as simple as that. There must be problems somewhere in the system.
I am not programmed to make that kind of qualified judgment.
Okay,
My
fair
code is
enough.
limited to information and simple interaction simulations.
Yeah, she can't make moral evaluations. Okay.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, and thank you for using Avina. Please enjoy your visit to the Citadel.
Man, that was cool. And this is why I like this game. I don't know how fun it is to watch. I don't know how many people are going to watch this series. Well, I don't know how other Let's Players do it. I could see a real good argument for, like, dude, you can't spend all your time on this stuff, but I think it's interesting, and I'm not sure if anybody else finds it interesting or not. But I like to see it fleshes out the world. To CSEC Academy. The elevator to CSEC Academy is located down the ramp to your left. The Alliance docking bay can be found there. Okay. Hey, let's see what our two coworkers have to say.
Big place.
Oh, same stuff.
I can't tell the aliens from the animals.
Okay, Ashley. You always need to have somebody who's straightforward on your team. to Citadel Tower. The Citadel Tower is the tall white structure far off to your right. It houses the council and is the heart of Citadel politics. Okay. And this must be CSAC. You must talk to the council to gain access to the wards. Gotcha. Okay. It's not disturbed. She's obviously out here to... Let's also not stand right behind her. That's creepy. But did you see her turn her head? She's like, yo, what's up? What are you doing there? Stop creeping on me. She's out here to enjoy a peaceful moment on a lunch break or something. This really would be a totally cush assignment, man. I bet everybody would be gunning for this place. The embassies are located at the end of the causeway to your right. Oh, well, yeah, that's okay. I've already looked at the embassies. Okay, Citadel Tower. Elevator to the wards is located to the right of the plaza. Across the bridge. Okay, let's not go. So that bridge right there and possibly this area right here too are our lines of demarcation. We're going to go explore as much as we can back here. Please choose Citadel Rapid Transit destination. Okay. I don't think I want to do this yet, because I think this would take me to I think the Presidium is where the council is at, so I'm going to check out what's down here. Hey!
Look at that bug thing over there. What's it doing?
I'm going to find out, Ashley.
Disturb the keepers. Please do not disturb the keepers.
Keepers, okay.
Welcome to Presidium Tourism Terminal 2. You are standing near the base of the Citadel Tower, one of the Presidium's most recognizable and important structures. Behind me is the spectacular Relay Monument, a scale model representation of a Prothean mass relay. To your left is one of the Keepers, the enigmatic caretakers of the Citadel, working on a control panel. You may see Keepers involved in various tasks throughout all levels of the Citadel. We ask that you do not interfere with them in any way. The Keepers are essential to the smooth operation of the Citadel. Obstructing their daily work will result in harsh penalties, including incarceration and rehabilitation.
Wow.
Tell me about the Relay Monument.
Discovered by the Asari who first arrived at the Citadel, the Relay Monument is one of the station's most interesting and controversial features. What is the meaning behind this striking piece of art? Is it a tribute to Prothean vanity? A reminder of their conquest of the galaxy through mass relay technology? Or perhaps it is a symbol of unity, a Prothean acknowledgement that the relays would eventually lead other species here to the Citadel. No one can say for sure, making the Relay Monument a favorite topic of discussion among academics and scholars.
Tell me about the Citadel Tower.
Housing both the council chambers and Citadel control, the tower is one of the most important buildings on the station. Access to these areas is restricted to those with the appropriate clearance.
What happens in Citadel Control?
Citadel Control handles all incoming and outbound transit. Every ship within 2,000 kilometers of the Citadel is under the jurisdiction of Citadel Control. At peak capacity, they are responsible for monitoring upwards of 1,000 vessels.
Okay, so that's like air traffic control.
I'd like to hear more about the council chambers.
The business of the Council, which often has far-reaching effects on the galactic community, is conducted in a room at the apex of the Citadel Tower. The Council chambers themselves are truly a magnificent sight to behold, though few get to experience the view in person. Typically, only the councilors, ambassadors, and high-ranking officials, along with various support staff, are allowed access.
Okay.
I'd like to know more about the Keepers.
Little is known about these peaceful servants of the Citadel, though they are essential to the operation and maintenance of the entire station. Citadel regulations protect the Keepers against interference during the performance of their tasks. Failure to comply will result in harsh penalties. Keepers can be seen in all sections of the Citadel, but are typically found in and around the tower.
Any particular reason there are so many Keepers in this area?
The Keepers do not communicate with other species. It is assumed, however, that the tower houses the Citadel's primary control systems. Many of the station's systems, such as navigation and life support, function automatically. It is believed the Keepers operate those systems from inside the tower's inaccessible core. The Keepers also make frequent appearances in the Council chamber itself, though they appear to be just passing through on their way to some other destination.
Okay.
That's all for now.
Thank you for using Avina. Have a pleasant day.
Now, I said that I thought that area right there would lead to the council. But then I thought, well, it might. Because I thought between all the Avinas that we've talked to, I thought she said that it was here locally. Yeah, see, there's the Citadel Tower. Isn't Citadel Tower where the council was? Well, we're gonna take it.
The council isn't gonna ask me any questions, are they?
I doubt it. We've made our reports. Now we just have to trust Ambassador Udina.
No, we don't, sir.
Ha 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 ha. All right, well, maybe we'll have to explore the rest of the Citadel in future episodes. I'm not sure how things are going to go here, but I do know I kind of like to at least sort of somewhat stay within, I don't know, what would you call it, role-playing? You know, we're here to go to the council. I don't think there would be time for Shepard to wind up in the nightclub of the Citadel, for example, because we're on an exploration mission. But maybe there will be time after the council meeting. We'll see.
Saren's hiding something. Give me more time. Stall them.
Stall the council?
This must be
Don't be
Garrus.
ridiculous. Your investigation is over, Garrus.
Yeah.
Commander Shepard, Garrus Vicarian. I was the officer in charge of the CSEC investigation into Saren.
What did you find?
Come across anything I should know about?
Saren's a Specter. Most of his activities are classified. I couldn't find anything solid. But I know he's up to something. Like you humans say, I feel it in my gut.
I think the council's ready for us, Commander.
Good luck, Shepard. Maybe they'll listen to you.
All right, thank you, Garrus. Nice to meet you.
Don't be ridiculous. The Volus won't be joining the Council for years.
I'm not so sure. The humans are making a strong push, and you can bet the Volus will be right on their coattails if they succeed.
Allowing the humans to join us is a sound strategic move. But the Volus? No. The Hanar are likely to be next, then the Elcor.
You may be right, though the Hanar need to lighten up a bit first.
You just don't like them because you have trouble understanding them.
Huh. come back to that in a minute. Does this even operate? No. Okay, I have the feeling that the rest of this is just for looks. But I want to run the perimeter. Oh, never mind.
The hearing's already started. Come on.
All right, here we go. Showtime.
The Geth attack is a matter of some concern, but there is nothing to indicate Saren was involved in any way.
The investigation by Citadel Security turned up no evidence to support your charge of treason.
An eyewitness saw him kill Nihilus in cold blood.
We've read the Eden Prime reports, Ambassador. The testimony of one traumatized dock worker is hardly compelling proof.
I resent these accusations. Nihilus was a fellow Specter and a friend.
That just let you catch him off guard.
Captain Anderson, you always seem to be involved when humanity makes false charges against me. And this must be your protege, Commander Shepard, the one who let the beacon get destroyed.
I would just ignore that. He's clearly trying to goad us. Okay, this is what I think, guys. I think that a remark like that, both to the captain and to us, is meant to anger us and draw an emotional reaction to make us look like the infantile, backwards society that he basically insinuates that we are. You know, behind closed doors and stuff, too. And to destroy our credibility and chances of getting onto this council. So I would instead, I would completely ignore this and get directly to, I want to put him on the defense. I don't want to be on my heels. I want to be on offense.
The mission to Eden Prime was top secret. The only way you could know about the beacon was if you were there.
With Nihilus gone, his files passed on to me. I read the Eden Prime report. I was unimpressed. But what can you expect from a human?
I'm not a huge fan of any of these responses, but I think we do want to call him on the carpet for bias. And this is a different thing. We're not necessarily we're not accusing him of, for lack of a better term, racism. I don't know what this is science fiction. We're talking about whole different species, not different races, right? What we're pointing out here is that he's compromised. He's compromised because he has a bias that he can't see past. It is a less colorful and emotionally charged accusation and it helps preserve our own credibility. I don't think I would go with that. Gosh. Yeah, actually, yes, I would.
Saren despises humanity. That's why he attacked Eden Prime.
Your species needs to learn its place, Shepard. You're not ready to join the Council. You're not even ready to join the Specters.
He has no right to say that. That's not his decision.
Shepard's admission into the Specters is not the purpose of this meeting.
This meeting has no purpose. The humans are wasting your time, Counselor, and mine.
Okay, I think we might be able to call that a bit of a win. We did get him. I think we put him on his back foot there. And got him to kind of reveal some of his true colors. Quit protecting him. I'll find proof. Yeah, that one. We don't need to accuse. Let's just say, hey, put it on me. Put it on me. And if there's nothing out there, then that'll be all the proof that you need.
You can't hide behind the Council forever.
There is still one outstanding issue. Commander Shepard's vision. It may have been triggered by the beacon.
Are we allowing dreams into evidence now? How can I defend my innocence against this kind of testimony?
I agree. Our judgment must be based on facts and evidence, not wild imaginings and reckless speculation.
Do you have anything else to add, Commander Shepard?
I'm going to go with this one. I'm kind of waffling between these two, but I don't. This is like kind of a tactical retreat. This is a long battle we're in. And I don't think I want to start hurling things in the Council's faces yet. We haven't gotten to that
You've
point.
made your decision. I won't waste my breath.
The Council has found no evidence of any connection between Saren and the Geth. Ambassador, your petition to have him disbarred from the Specters is denied.
I'm glad to see justice was served.
This meeting is adjourned.
Man, our ambassador looks completely defeated. Gotta watch your body language. This is a long game.
It was a mistake bringing you into that hearing, Captain. You and Saren have too much history. It made the Council question our motives.
I know Saren. He's working with the Geth for one reason: to exterminate the entire human race. Every colony we have is at risk. Every world we control is in danger. Even Earth isn't safe.
I think in real life I would say this one, but I really want to know. I don't even know that would have occurred to me. I would have. This isn't a matter of blame. This is saying we're going to have to do this ourselves. But since I see this option here, I do want to know more about Saren.
Tell me about this history between you and Saren.
I worked with him on a mission a long time ago. Things went bad.
See, I don't think I would ask him in front of the diplomat.
We shouldn't talk about this here. But I know what he's like, and he has to be stopped.
Yeah, see, he just told us now it's not the time.
We need to deal with Saren ourselves.
As a Spectre, he's virtually untouchable. We need to find some way to expose him.
What about Garrus, that CSEC investigator? We saw him arguing with the Executor.
That's right. He was asking for more time to finish his report. Seems like he was close to finding something on Saren.
I think the most likely response, given the circumstances, would be this one right here. He could be useful.
Any idea where we could find him?
I have a contact in CSEC who can help us track Garrus down. His name is Harkin.
Forget it. They suspended Harkin last month, drinking on the job. I won't waste my time with that loser.
You won't have to. I don't want the Council using your past history with Saren as an excuse to ignore anything we turn up. Shepard will handle this.
I'll take care of it.
I need to take care of some business. Captain, meet me in my office later.
Harkin's probably getting drunk at Cora's Den. It's a dingy little club in the lower section of the wards.
Maybe there's another way to find evidence against Saren.
You should talk to Barla Vaughn over in the financial district. Rumor has it he's an agent for the Shadow Broker.
The Shadow Broker?
An information dealer. Buys and sells secrets to the highest bidder. I've heard Barla Vaughn's one of the top representatives. He might know something about Saren, but his information won't come cheap.
Okay.
Our ambassador doesn't seem to get along with the Council.
He's just frustrated. The Council's always preaching that we need to be part of the galactic community. But for them, it's a one-way street. They want us to expand and settle unstable regions like the Skillian Verge and the Attican Traverse. But when we run into trouble, they don't want to help us out. Everyone knows it's only a matter of time until we get a seat on the Council. The ambassador just thinks it should happen sooner rather than later. And I agree.
We're too independent. Lol. Continue to investigate.
You don't think much of Harkin.
The guy joined CSEC about 20 years ago. He's been an embarrassment to our species ever since.
Wow.
Roughing up suspects in custody, bribery accusations, alcohol and drug use. The embassy used to step in when he got in trouble. But I guess enough was enough.
Dirty cop, huh?
The guy's a scumbag. He should have been cut loose a long time ago.
He was one of the first human CSEC officers. Guess it would have looked bad if he got fired. A lot of backroom deals were worked out over the years to keep him on the force. Politics is a dirty business sometimes.
Yeah.
But it looks like his time's run out. We've got enough humans in CSEC now to stop protecting him.
I thought this embassy was supposed to help humans.
Harkin may be human, but he's also an ass. He's had more than his share of chances. If the embassy wasn't protecting him, he would have been fired 15 years ago. CSEC is better off without him.
All right.
I want to know more about the Specters.
They're not your typical government agency. They tend to work alone, behind the scenes. They take care of problems the Council can't. It's not easy preserving peace across an entire galaxy. The Council prefers to use diplomacy and negotiation. But sometimes more extreme measures are needed.
What happens when a Spectre goes rogue, like Saren?
It doesn't happen often. The Council is careful when they select their candidates. But when something does go wrong, there's usually only one solution. Send another Spectre to bring the rogue agent down.
So this is like some spy game stuff.
How do they decide who becomes a Spectre?
You can't just apply to join. There's no training program. Spectres aren't made. They're born. The Council's always looking for exceptional individuals. People who can get the job done, like you. They've been watching you for years. They see something in you. They want you on their side. Nihilus was supposed to give them a final recommendation, but with him gone, things are still up in the air.
See, those lines right there make me, again, make me happy that I made a dude that's more middle-aged than a young guy in his prime, right? That they've been watching him for years.
What's their command structure like?
There is no command structure. Each Spectre answers directly to the Council. Sometimes they're sent on specific missions. Other times, they act on their own. They tend to operate outside the law, do whatever it takes to accomplish their goals. The Council just turns a blind eye. Spectres have a lot of power, Shepard.
They sound like shadow operatives.
Everything about them is classified. We don't even know how many there are. The
Wow.
latest Alliance estimate puts their numbers under 100. But the Council couldn't do its job without them. They're the Citadel's top agents, the last line of defense, the final option before open war. The entire galaxy respects and fears them. If a Spectre shows up, you know something big is about to happen.
Sound a little bit like Jedi.
Tell me more about the Shadow Broker.
He's a necessary evil of galactic politics. Buying and selling information is a part of the game, and the Shadow Broker just happens to be the best player on the field. Always sells to the highest bidder. Doesn't get involved in politics, doesn't pick sides. A simple system, but it works. He's not a threat to anyone, not directly. He's just a resource we can use, or she is. Or maybe they are. Nobody really knows.
Huh. Alright, so what about Bar Levon?
Tell me about Bar Levon.
He specializes in moving large sums of money without leaving a paper trail. A financial genius, doesn't do anything illegal, but he knows all the loopholes. He's got an impressive client list. Ambassadors, diplomats, Spectres. That's probably why the Shadow Broker uses him.
Okay, and finally the last one.
You and Saren have a history. What happened?
About 20 years ago, I was part of a mission in the Skillian Verge. I was working with Saren to find and remove a known terrorist threat. Saren eliminated his target, A lot of people died along the way. Innocent people. And the official records just covered it all up. But I saw how he operates. No conscience. No hesitation. He'd kill 1,000 innocent civilians to end a war without a second thought.
Well, to end a war, huh? 1,000 innocent civilians. Well, I can see what the developers are doing. We're going to go with this one here. I hesitated on this because there's a wide spectrum of gray involved in this. For example, World War II. You know, we didn't have things like smart bombs during World War II. And when we were on Okinawa staring at mainland Japan, we knew and understood, American intelligence had learned that, number one, I think the biggest thing that we understood was that Japanese culture, they were ready, willing, and totally trained and prepared from birth to sacrifice every man, woman, and child on that island to defend. Well, for them it would be defend the emperor, but really the emperor just kind of stood for the nation state, right? And it was a warrior culture. And American intelligence, the second thing that we knew and understood was that they had caves, huge cave networks with water and food storages for up to 5 years, and a cohesive, intricate plan for guerrilla warfare. Had we not dropped the A-bombs, which killed a bunch of civilians, had we not firebombed Tokyo, you know, things of that nature. Now, these are not things that would have been done today. Maybe not let's remove the atomic bomb equation from that, but the firebombing of cities indiscriminately, that wouldn't happen today because we have smart bombs. We just, the reason that Tokyo got hit was not to cause terror necessarily, although that was a part of it too, I think, but it was a minor part of it. It was because Tokyo was a major industrial area, if I remember my history correct. So, well, nowadays what we would do is we would hit the industrial complexes with smart bombs. Well, they didn't have smart bombs. They had dumb bombs. And the way that Japanese architecture worked, there was a lot of bamboo used, so fire bombs made sense. Just burn the whole thing down. And that's how World War II was conducted. And that's how that war was eventually ended. The same thing was done over in Germany. I forget what city it was, Heidelberg or something, but that took such a beating from Allied bombing that the fires that arose created hurricane-level vortexes because they were sucking oxygen in so fast, and it was a cyclone-type thing. There were fire cyclones happening in that city. It got bombed so hard. So huge amounts of civilian casualties, but in order to stop war that would have claimed many more lives, and that is best illustrated in the dropping of the atomic bombs. It's a controversial subject to this day. People who were touched by that on the negative side are probably going to fight tooth and toenail and claim that's not true. As I understand it, over in Japan to this day, they teach their people kind of a revisionist history and say that they teach that as the greatest act of terror that anybody could ever do, and it was a great immoral thing. They don't teach what their people were prepared to do. They don't teach that the American military was looking at the loss of life, civilian and military, on both sides, and doing the math and finding out basically, if we run a shock and awe campaign, we have a chance to save more lives by expending a stunning amount in one shot. And it worked. It worked, right? But I don't think that the developers have that kind of a gradient in mind here. They are more looking at concentration camp type stuff, where you're mercilessly killing civilians and maybe even gleefully killing civilians. That's what their intent is. So I wanted to explain why I was waffling there, and I think that those are important things to consider. That you do have a spectrum. I mean, give me more context. If I had to make this choice in real life, give me more context, because this very well may be the right answer. And there's plenty of people that are going to be like, oh my gosh, how could you say such a thing? I'd say, dude, if you're questioning that, you don't know anything about what you're talking about. Nothing, not a shred. You have zero experience with any of. You haven't thought of anything. It's just an emotional response based off of I don't know what, whatever you've been programmed with. But we're going to go ahead and take this because of what I believe the intent of what the developers are looking at here is.
Killing innocents doesn't end wars, it causes them.
I know how the world works, Commander. Sometimes you're forced to make unpleasant decisions. But only if there's no other way. Saren doesn't even look for another option.
Yeah, see?
He's twisted, broken. He likes the violence, the killing. And he knows how to cover his tracks.
Yeah, that he's twisted, broken. He likes the violence. Yeah, see, that I think that I nailed this one. That's my personal opinion. I think I got this exactly right. And I think I was wrong to say that I thought the developers were maybe looking at this a little bit ham-fisted. It looks to me like the developers know exactly what they were looking at, and they have it in the dialogue. All right, so, well, that's it. I guess this conversation's done. That was the last thing.
I should go.
Good luck, Shepard. I'll be over in the ambassador's office if you need anything else.
Okay, well, that's actually a good break point for us as well. We're at 42 minutes on this episode. We do have some things. Let's go ahead and continue to run the perimeter. Because it looks like, I know there's at least one elevator that works. We were looking at it over there, across the way. Able to get down there now. And is this functional? No. Okay. I think that completes the perimeter run. We've looked at everything. And there's just the one way out. Besides going back to ground level. Oh, which actually we should do. Because I have a feeling when we get on this tram, it's going to take us to the section where we find the Shadow Broker. And I want to talk to that...
But I wouldn't believe everything you hear.
Oh, what are they called? I forgot. The Avari, the consort. I want to get that taken care of before we press on to other sections of the Citadel. So we'll get out this way. We'll save it. We'll close this episode out. Right here's a good point to save. Well, let's, I guess since it opened, I don't know. Feel like I'm talking just to talk, and then I'm not even being accurate because I keep changing my mind.
I can't believe the Council ignored all the evidence against Saren.
Yeah, me either.
The best operatives. It's only natural they'd take his word over ours.
Oh, so now we just chase leads while this smug Turian runs around with his Geth troopers.
That's politics, Chief.
I hate politics. politics.
Yeah, Ashley is a straightforward, go-get-'em kind of person. All right, let's hit save. Where's it at? There we go. New save. I'm so happy to be playing this game again. Almost surprised, I hadn't thought about Mass Effect. That's not true. I remember Mass Effect kind of routinely, but I've never thought of playing it over again. I just kind of remember the feelings that I had after the game, and it's one of those games that, like, while I was playing it, sometimes I would be like, man, this game's really long, and there would be stretches where it was tedious, and I'm trying to learn all the information and stuff, but then you finish the game and you're left with this sort of haunting effect inside that sort of echoes around in you. Even years later, I'll run into stuff that reminds me of something from Mass Effect, from my original playthrough in Mass Effect, and I'll remember it's like the total impact of the game as a whole whenever it's all said and done. Not talking about the whole series. There's that also, but I mean even each individual game. So it's really nice to be doing this. I hope there's some of you that are watching this and enjoying it for yourselves as well. Maybe you might want to do like what I do. Sometimes, well, not sometimes, I mean really quite often, I go to sleep listening to YouTube playthroughs. I'll watch them and I fall asleep watching them. And I'm usually looking for people that have a voice that I can, and a presentation that I can fall asleep to. I don't want them to be too hype. I usually I'll listen to male or female. The important thing is that it needs to be calm, and that relaxes me. That's like kind of how I unwind. But maybe this series will be that for some of you people, and I'll try and keep an even tone throughout it. But on that note, again, I'm Aesop Grin. Thank you for coming by this channel. I hope all is well in your neck of the woods, and I will see you in the next episode where this story continues.